Hey, how are you? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know where you're watching, what part of the world. If you're here in America and then you're on the East Coast, it's coming up on 10 minutes to 1 a.m. Welcome to Midnight Ramblings, or After Midnight Ramblings in this case. Saturday night into Sunday morning. Um, I titled the video, Have Cops Been Abducted by UFO'S? SNL sucks, and Putin tells Biden to stuff it. Those are some of the topics that we'll be talking about. But if there's something on your mind, well, use the live chat and let me know what you're thinking about, where you are watching from, what corner of the world you are in. Always love to know that. Um, this past summer, seems always sad when summer goes, doesn't it? Although this one was pretty hot everywhere, including on the East Coast, including in New York and Connecticut. Nice in Maine as usual. When we got up to Maine, it was just right. The water's always cold in Maine, it seems, including in the swimming pools in the various motels because they can't afford to heat it. They can't afford to heat it. Some of them do, and some of them don't because the cost of the oil is so expensive. And but during those trips, I was astonished how few police officers I saw. You know how few. First of all, we have a system that is so outdated for catching speeders, you know. And since we have this mega technology, you would think by now they would have updated it, and then of course it would be very lucrative for them to use cameras, speed cameras, which capture your license plate and the speed that you were doing, and you get a ticket in the mail. If you're driving a full-size BMW, you may not care that you get tickets. You'll pay the tickets. It's no big deal to you. But eventually, if the deal was that you're going to lose your license if you keep going 80 miles an hour in a 65-mile zone or a 55-mile zone or a 45-mile zone, then maybe you'd slow down too, and we'd have fewer horrific deaths on the road. I was never for speed cameras. I'm not for more government. I'm not a more government kind of person. But we have a situation where everybody is driving crazily. Um, Young people, older people as well, just in and out of traffic, pulling out in front of people, going way over the speed limit, and it's causing when somebody's coming up behind you going 85, 90 miles an hour, and they think they got enough room to get by you, and they hit you from the back at 85, 90 miles an hour, you're in serious trouble. You're in serious trouble. And so we've had another summer of horrific deaths with motorcycles, and with people with cars, and some will even challenge an 18-wheeler driver out there. So it seems like it's kind of the time for speed cameras, because I couldn't help but notice there weren't that many people being pulled over. And if there's thousands of cars on a busy roadway and they capture one person, someone was commenting on Facebook. Someone put a post up saying, "Don't slam on your brakes when you see a a cop has pulled someone over, unless you're holding a severed head out of the window. He's too busy for you, or she's too busy for you." But people don't think. We live in a world of mostly stupid people. Mostly stupid people. Now, one third of the people, and I hope that's you that watches this video, are very bright, intuitive, a you make a valuable contribution to society, a valuable contribution to society. So that's great. But because of the catch and release that has been going on in many cities and states, and Pennsylvania, Philadelphia has turned into a war zone. I saw the pathetic Democratic, self-identifying Democratic DA who's blaming it on Republicans. Once you let somebody know that they're going to immediately get out of jail, even if it's a violent crime. First, we thought it would just be, for simple little crimes, and that would include, I suppose, shoplifting if it was a small amount. Um, you can understand someone saying, well, since they don't have the money, they have to stay in jail where the guy who has the means gets out. I understand that what you're talking about when you talk about that being unfair. But then we quickly started to realize that people that committed violent crimes, even murder, like the guy who took his SUV and mowed down a kid that he thought was a MAGA Republican, hitting him over and over again, got out of jail the next day. That's when you know your society is gone batshit crazy. I don't think there's any other way to say it. That's when you know you're in the last days, that kind of thing. So we're seeing these kind of things. We're seeing Portland, Oregon. We're seeing certainly Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York City. Here's a valuable veteran EMT who worked for the fire department. They are lined up with the fire department, some of them, and must have worked over 30 years with the fire company. And in broad daylight, she gets stabbed multiple times by a crazy, mentally ill man. Now, we just did a live recording earlier. This is the first time I've ever done two in a very short amount of time, where we talk about how the mental health program has been destroyed by people on the left. We take you through it exactly why that has happened. So, wow, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Cops don't want to arrest someone that gets released 3 or 4 hours later and then is back doing the same crime again. This is what has happened as we have seen the progressives take over. So it gets worse and worse every day. I have no desire to go to New York City. Just today, someone was killed in the subway. Someone was killed, I believe, stabbed on the subway. You got Mayor Adams, who's clueless, and Kathy Hochul. You would think she's running for election. She's never been elected as governor. There's a guy named Lee Zeldin, Congressman Lee Zeldin, who's running against her. I don't know if there's going to be enough votes for him. I don't know. There will be in Western New York. I don't know about in the city and what have you. People just, they they don't think when they go into that voting machine. They just don't think. Obviously, Kathy Hochul has done nothing to be elected governor, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is. You start to lose hope. You start to lose faith in people's discernment after a while. But obviously, by now, Kathy Hochul should have fired this DA Bragg here in New York, who is um, he's just a disgrace. And the same thing with the Philadelphia DA, the same thing with the Los Angeles DA, the San Francisco. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. So that's what's happening out there in the world of crime in 2022. The cops seem to have disappeared, and the DAs, the governors who are not certainly keeping their oath to protect people, to serve the people of their state, they're serving the people who are destroying their state. Saw a little bit of SNL tonight. My lady was watching it, and it just makes me sick at this point. I mean, I love Keenan Thompson, who's been on there forever, but he can't carry the show alone. I was no big Kate McKinnon fan. I understand she had talent. I understand she could be funny from time to time, but I didn't find her a decent person. So I don't. The weekend update can still be amusing. I never got to that because there was, what was his name, Drake, the rapper, whatever his name is. I don't want to listen to that. These rappers tend to sound alike. they, I don't hear it. I grew up with the soul legends, Smokey Robinson, the Four Tops, and uh, people, Isaac Hayes, and so many wonderful talents. Obviously, the Supremes and um, Luther Vandross, uh, people that had real talent, and now, yeah. So SNL. I don't think I can stomach it this year. I don't think I can. What about you? Um, Probably I will be doing mostly an occasional pre-recorded video on this channel because where it is right now is that it's like if it's not Bob Joyce, you're it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. You're not talking about the topic that they became a subscriber in the beginning. So I find it that I really need to do a stream where I target a specific audience and then incorporate YouTube and maybe Facebook and other voices out there, video voices, as well as a audio stream um, some of the time. So um, I want to put my efforts where I have a chance of it being um, successful, being heard. Um, People, don't want to hear often about how bad this world has become. They don't. They don't want to. They don't really want to think about it too much. There's certainly people that used to be very vocal in voicing their opinions online have kind of backed off because there's a fear. There's a fear going on out there. You want to kind of keep low profile as the United States of America, for example, goes down the drain with a president who is uh, shaking hands with Ghost in the air, asking where the dead congresswoman is. Is she here? Is Jackie here? And normally on shows like Saturday Night Live, if this were Trump doing these kind of things, of course they'd have a field day with it. They'd have an absolute field day. So it's it really when you're a news person and you stop reporting news that does not favor your political views, when you're a comedy show and you ignore what would be some very funny skits because you don't want to help the Republicans, then you've lost all your credibility. You're not being fair. You're obviously taking sides, and when you ignore funny material, uh, you end up with what Saturday Night Live is right now. It's lost its political edge because they don't want to make fun of Joe Biden. They don't want to point out all his gaffes or Kamala Harris. That's not cool. You can't do that anymore. See, this is how people lose their rights. People tell them, no, you can't say that. Kamala Harris was paying homage to North Korea a couple of days ago in a speech. Of course, she meant South Korea, but this happens all the time. And you just say, oh, how did this ever happen? How do we have these people representing us? Because it's kind of exactly what America deserves. If you're not in that group, it's not your fault, but it's always going to be it seems right now it's what can the government do for me? JFK once said, ask not what your government can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Well, now it's everybody coming up believes just the opposite. If you offer free stuff, you'll be very, very popular. And they don't care about talk about it's going to bankrupt the country. Now, with all the money that's going to have to be spent in Florida and in South Carolina, Puerto Rico again, and of course the money we've wasted in Afghanistan. Well, yeah, there too, but in the Ukraine, Putin is just letting us know that he doesn't care what Joe Biden thinks. he looked at Joe Biden, said, "This is the perfect time for me to do what I wanted to do for so long." He wouldn't have done it, of course, if President Trump had stayed in office. I'm no Trump rah-rah guy. I like DeSantis, but we don't need more drama and name calling. I'm not for that kind of stuff. But when we see what's happened to America in the last 19 years, well, let's just say it makes some people sick to their stomach. Um, well, that's about it for now. We'll talk to you from time to time. I appreciate, I definitely appreciate those who have subscribed and who have liked what we've done in the past. I don't see me doing a lot of it, but if there's something, when I get that conviction that it's time to say something, I certainly love what YouTube provides, allows me to come on and potentially talk to the world. With the Bob Joyce topic, wow, we've had probably over 130,000 views on those videos, and I appreciate that, but I can't do. You can't keep singing the same old song. You can't keep singing the same old song. Um, but who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? Thanks so much for watching. My name is Jack Allen Willard. God bless America. God convict America. God protect us from the evildoers that seem to be surrounding us at every turn. Don't like to be, you know, downtrodden, but we're in a real pickle. This country is in a real pickle at this time.